Okay, today we're going to talk about the surface area for a cylinder, which is given by an equation that looks like this. So I'm going to say surface area is equal to 2 pi times r times the h plus 2 pi r squared. Basically, where we're getting that, if you take a look at a cylinder, it looks something like that, except much better than my crummy drawing. If you were to take a cylinder and unroll it, you would get basically a rectangle. Okay, so what we need to know to figure out the surface area of a rectangle is a length and a width measurement. Now the length, you can see, corresponds to the cylinder's height. The width corresponds to whatever the circumference of this circle is. Okay, and circumference is 2 pi r. Okay. So we're basically taking 2 pi r, which is right here, timesing it by the height or the length in our rectangle, and that'll get us the surface area of the shaft of the cylinder. Then we have these two caps on top and bottom that we need to figure out. Now, those two caps are represented by the geometric shape of a circle, and we know that the area of a circle is just pi r squared. So you can see the pi r squared come into play right there, and since we have two of these caps in the cylinder, that's where this 2 comes from right here. So let's just give you an introduction to how this formula was derived. Now let's get to work putting it into practice. Okay? So let's say in this example problem that the height of a cylinder is 10 inches, and the surface area itself, when it's already solved for, is equal to 200 square inches. Okay, so based on our formula, which I'm going to write once more, so surface area is equal to 2 pi r times the h plus 2 pi r squared. So that's our formula for surface area. Let's start just plugging things in. So we're going to plug this 200 in for surface area. So 200 is equal to 2 pi r. Now they gave us a height of 10, and then we're going to basically solve this equation for r. What you'll notice, a common theme throughout math, whenever you see a squared term like this r over here, and whenever you see a plain r by itself like we have in the middle there, this is probably going to be a quadratic equation we're going to need to solve for. So that should be a big clue to arrange this into quadratic standard form. So to do that, I'm going to move this 200 over to the other side. I'm going to reorder the terms a little bit such that we get 0 is equal to, I'm going to bring my square term out front, so 2 pi r squared. Next comes my middle term, which is 2 pi r times 10. And last we have our 200, which is our constant. Okay, so now we're in standard form. It doesn't look that clean because there's some simplifying that we can do. So let's go ahead and do that. We can't really, I don't really want to times 2 by pi, so I'm just going to leave it as 2 pi so we don't have to deal with a nasty decimal. But I'm going to take this 2 and this 10, times them together, so we get 20 pi r, and then we're left with our minus 200. Okay, so now the way we can go about solving this, because this is probably going to be a decimal answer, our best method of attack here is using the quadratic formula, because that's going to get us a definite set of solutions with decimals. Okay, so just like we've done in the past, in the quadratic formula, x, or in this case r, is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And you should know already that this coefficient right here stands for a, this coefficient right here stands for b, and this constant stands for c. Okay, so substituting those things in, we're going to get x is equal to negative 20 pi plus or minus the square root of 20 pi squared minus 4 times 2 pi times negative 200. And that's all going to be over 2 times 2 pi. So I just substituted all of my coefficients in for A, B, and C in that step. The next step is really just to calculate it all out. I'm going to leave that up to you, but I will help you out with some simplification at this point. So when we do some simplifying, our negative 20 pi is going to stay there, plus or minus the square roots. Well, if we take 20 pi and square it, well, 20 squared is going to be 400. So we're going to get 400 pi squared. Now, minus 4 times 2 pi times minus 200. You're basically taking 4 times 2 times 200. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 200 is 1600. We got two negatives here, right there and right there. Two negatives make it positive. We're going to be adding 1600, and we still have our pi in there somewhere. Okay, and that's all going to be over our denominator, which 2 times 2 pi is just equal to 4 pi. This is going to be what you're going to plug in your calculator. Now don't forget these negatives right here. And then don't forget that you have to do the positive routes and the negative routes to get both sets of solutions. Now I'm betting that because this is a real life situation, you're probably going to get a negative solution out, which obviously can't really exist in a three-dimensional object. So go with the positive answer, and then you're done. Okay? Hope that helped. Hope I didn't go too fast. We will see once I hear back from you guys. Thanks.